Okay, we're back and we're ready to assemble our stuffing. Now I have a huge mixing bowl here so I can get in and mix this up really well. But what I like to start with is my sausage. And this is because we had it in the fridge. It's a little cold and it can be a little clumpy. So we want to break it up with our spoon. Just scoop that into your big mixing bowl and kind of chop it up if it seems like the grease has made it clump together a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to take our gorgeous garlic bread stuffing that we made ahead of time, the stuffing crumbs, and just dump them in. Then we're going to take our beautiful French chuck mushrooms and put those in. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. It's going to be amazing. We're going to take our sauteed celery and onions. As you can see, we're just going for tender crisp. Yep, now you can see them. Okay, dump those in. Okay, beautiful. Now, remember how we used 1/3 of a stick of butter to French chuck our mushrooms? We took the other 2/3 of the stick and we put it in the microwave and just melted. It doesn't have to be like completely liquefied, just pliable so we can spread it around. Pour that in. Then 2 cups of our chicken stock. Remember, I was going with the organic type, that's free range, because it has lower sodium. And now this is an estimate because every loaf of garlic bread is not the same size, and it depends. You could use an artisan bread like sourdough that's more dense and it may take a little bit more fluid. So this is our starting point. We're just going to take a look at it to make sure it's nice and moist but not soggy. We don't want it soggy. Soggy stuffing is gross. Anyway, so we're going to pour this in as our starting point. Okay, and then we're going to take 1 more tablespoon of rosemary. Now remember, we use 1 tablespoon in our mushrooms. They're nicely coated, but we want to spread this throughout. I love rosemary. If you're not the biggest rosemary fan, you can go with less. And then we're going to take about a teaspoon of thyme. And I like to grind my spices as I'm using them because it releases the oil and therefore more flavor. Now dried herbs still have oil in the leaves, you just have to release it. And that's the best way to do it, just rub them together. Now I'm not the biggest sage fan. I like a little bit, I don't like a lot. If you're a tremendous sage fan, add more. But I'm only going to do about half of a teaspoon of this. I'm not the biggest fan. But that's okay. If you love it, add more of it and rub it in. Okay? Now just give it a good turn and see where you land. And I'll show you what mine's going to look like when it's ready to go in. But remember, we have a lot of oil from those mushrooms with butter and the olive oil. We also have some from the sauteed onion and celery, and then we just added butter too. So it takes a little bit of work to see where you're actually at. And that to me looks just perfect. You don't want standing fluid. You just want it to cover the breadcrumbs. And it looks like this is going to be just right for the amounts that I have. Okay, let me show it to you. You see it? Perfect. Okay, now we're just going to pour it into our baking dish. And this is going to bake uncovered. But if your baking dish has just a plastic cover, you can use that, or just cover it in foil until we get to the point where you're going to put it in the oven. And it won't hurt it to sit for a while. We just didn't want it to sit overnight. Okay, so our turkey actually hasn't even gone in yet, which of course we're not actually doing one today. We did it in the first segment, but I'm going to tell you when it's time, and it's probably getting close to time. We're going to do a couple more things, pop that turkey in, and we're in such good shape. It's unbelievable. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to get this in my baking dish, and I'll see you soon.